Then we stop at the convenience store to see Jack try to buy beer.
Can't get it. No.
The cashier can't believe he even tried.
Literally, he looks like he's 12.
At the next store, Jack tries to buy cigarettes, with no luck.
I'm so sorry for the cigarette.
Later, he strikes out trying to buy Racy magazine.
You have to be 18 or older.
All right, okay, thank you.
And then lottery tickets.
Can I get a couple scratch-offs?
How old are you? You got your ID?
13.
You what?
I'm 13.
You can't get no scratch off, baby.
Okay. All right, thank you.
It's laughable to everyone here, the idea that we'd ever expose a 13-year-old to the dangers of a lottery ticket. But then we arrive here, at the gun show.
It should shoot pretty good for you.
I'll take it.
Within minutes, the 13-year-old easily and legally bought a .22 caliber rifle from a private seller and walked away with it.
That's right. At a private gun show in America, 13 years old is not too young to buy a firearm. But you have to wait until 16 to drive, 18 to buy cigarettes, and 21 to buy beer and lottery tickets. 18 for lottery tickets in some states. Hello, everybody. I'm David Shuster, and thanks for joining us. That report was done a few years ago, but it still holds today, and it underscores the absurdity with which American society judges and embraces firearms. Somehow a rifle in the hands of a 13-year-old or an AR-15 in the hands of an 18-year-old is just fine and legal. Now, I can hear some libertarians saying, well, we ought to lower the age to buy cigarettes, beer, and lottery tickets. Okay, I look forward to seeing libertarians and conservatives fight as hard to lower the drinking age as they fight common sense gun restrictions. And speaking of guns, yes, I know a .22 rifle is considered only slightly more dangerous than a BB gun. It's used primarily for hunting small animals like rabbits. However, you can still hurt yourself or others with a .22 rifle. It is a rifle. It is still a firearm. To be clear, a law is not going to stop many teenagers from doing things they are not supposed to do. I get it. How many of us managed to get our hands on beer before we were 21? But the point is to make it more difficult, and there is a societal benefit to making some things more difficult for teenagers. Imagine if our communities decided that teenagers could just walk into a liquor store and buy as much alcohol at any age with no problem. We know this would produce more teenage alcoholics. We know there would be more drunk driving deaths. More. That's the key word. As it stands, we may not be able to stop all or even most teenagers from drinking alcohol, but the drinking age of 21 still stops or limits some teenagers. Imagine if we could limit or stop some of the teenagers who are determined to get their hands on an AR-15. Sure, maybe they're still going to get the weapon and ammunition from an older friend, but maybe, just maybe, the law helps to stop or block a teenager from carrying out a massacre. And we need to try to do something to lower the trend line. In 2021, there were 42 acts of gun violence in U.S. schools. 42. That is the highest incident rate since 1999. And some schools were closed last year because of the pandemic. Mass shootings in U.S. schools are up. Mass shootings in our communities are up. And for American children, firearms are now the leading cause of death. That's right, firearms. So let's be clear, for the right to bear firearms, children are dying, and countless others are being maimed physically and emotionally. According to experts, over the past 22 years, more than 300,000 children have been in a school where there has been a shooting. What are we doing?